Hi everyone, this is a quick video about an awesome new synchronous tool called Zoom. And some of you may have already heard about it, but you're not exactly sure how to get started with it. What you will see on your computer is that Zoom has already been pushed out, and you should see this kind of screen pop up on your MacBook. It probably asks you for permission as far as to be able to use your camera and your microphone. Make sure you say yes to those things. And then just, if you already closed it or by accident or whatever it might be, it should just be in your applications. Once you start it up and log in your ISD47 account, you will see a screen similar to this. Now, it may not have this thing right here because this is a meeting that I've already started with Steph here earlier this morning. So what I'm going to do is just kind of quickly go through some of these things. You can basically super easily start a new meeting, like it says here, and I can click this new meeting button. And what it will do is it will say, hey, how do you want to join this here? I could say I could join with computer and audio. You can see myself as far as in the background there. And I can easily be able to go ahead and share this specific Zoom with my students. But I'm going to go ahead and click out of this real quick. I'm going to leave this meeting here. If I wanted to go ahead and schedule a meeting, which is probably what you're going to do, is schedule one for your specific class, especially if you're going to run a synchronous session. Again, very easy to go ahead and do. You name it whatever you want to do. For example, the class session, what time you want to go ahead and start it. You give it a duration, and then it's going to go ahead and give you a password and so on for your students to go ahead and do that as far as being able to schedule something. But let's just show you kind of how this actually works here as far as joining in here. Okay, so I actually started a meeting here and it kind of overrode the other meeting. This is a perfect opportunity to show you how do you invite someone else to this meeting. So we can start up this meeting here and I can click invite and it says invite by email, invite by contact, or I can just copy the URL or copy the invitation. So I'm going to go ahead and just copy the URL and I'm going to message this to Steph and tell her to go ahead and join me here. Join this meeting. And then I'll paste it in here. And let's just see what ends up happening here. See if she's able to go ahead and join the specific meeting. Okay, so it looks like Steph actually got my invite by email, and I could have posted that inside of Schoology, for example. I could have actually scheduled this specific session and just basically pasted that link in there. But the coolest part, and this is the part that is really differentiates itself from Hangouts, is that Steph can't join, or anyone can't join this meeting until I start it. So the host actually starts up the meeting, and then your participants can join. So that's actually a really good thing. Very different than, let's say, Google Hangouts. So let's just take a quick look at the menu here. We have obviously my own audio and video functions down here at the bottom left. I can go and send out another invite. Let's say some kids were having trouble, whatever it might be. Again, we can click the invite button here and I can copy the URL and paste it somewhere in case you've lost it, whatever it might be. I can invite specific people if I wanted to, as far as by email, but I wouldn't even mess with any of those things right there. As far as managing the participants, let's take a quick look at this. On this right-hand side, when I click Manage Participants, I have some abilities here to be able to go ahead and when Steph came into the meeting, I can actually mute all the participants on entry. Highly recommend doing that. That way, there's not a huge distraction as kids are actually joining in on the meeting. It actually, when I clicked it, you can see up here, it says, all the new participants will be muted. And then there's a checkbox, Steph. I don't even know if you knew this, but it says, allow participants to unmute themselves. I have a checkbox, but if I uncheck it, you can't even unmute yourself. So I can go like this. If you didn't want your students, you want a little bit more control or whatever it might be, or just, just to try to make the time with them more productive, you can obviously uncheck this, and then that way they can't actually unmute themselves, okay? I'm going to check that box back again. There's also a chat functionality here. I'm going to click it. Make sure that you do this also, because even though you might say, I'm not going to use the chat, it's not something I'm going to even do. Click it because there's some things you might want to toggle on and off. If you check this out on this side, let me move my screen here because otherwise you're not going to be able to see this. Down here at the bottom right-hand side, let me keep moving it this way because I don't think people are going to be able to see this. Okay. You can see that I can allow attendees to do a chat with nobody or just with me. Probably that's what I would choose, is choose host only. But you see my other ones here where everyone publicly or everyone publicly and privately. Things can get a little bit weird if you do that because there could be a back channel kind of going on during your thing, which there probably will be anyway on some other forum, but at least you can not allow it to happen here. So really allow attendees to chat with host might be the good thing. So like, for example, Steph just typed in, Mr. Irvin, when is the assignment due? I just noticed that, Steph. Thank you. That's fantastic. And that is actually something pertinent. I can actually see that. So the chat can be something that you want to use. Plus, Steph, are you allowed to raise your hand here or no? I don't know. It says allow participants to mute themselves. I don't know if you can actually, yep, she can actually, so you can see up here, there's a functionality where Steph is actually raising her hand. So you can actually teach the students to go ahead and do that. So as you're speaking, you can go ahead and unmute them, let them obviously speak, ask a question, whatever it might be. It's a great way to be able to control that kind of interaction. And it's going to be difficult for kids to do that. And again, that's what differentiates itself from Google Hangout. Here's another big thing. You can't tell in this view here, but up at the top, if you've ever been in a Zoom meeting, there is this cool ability to change the way that all of us appear on this screen. Now, if I click this from speaker view to gallery view, you can't really tell. You can see that I'm little up here, and then Steph became the main center focus right here. But basically what it does is if I have 30 participants in here, it'll grid us all out, kind of Hollywood Square style. And we will be able to, you can actually see the students, we can all see each other. You can also let them know that too, that they can switch that view for themselves. You could obviously go full screen and so on and so forth. I guess the biggest thing, and I almost forgot about this, Steph, is down here at the bottom, right beside the chat, is the record function. Anytime you're in a meeting with a student or students, you might as well click the record button. For then a asynchronous lesson, you're describing something, even if you were just going ahead and describing the details of what the assignment was, whatever it might be. And if you're with a student one-on-one or just a small group, you want to just have the record function on just for your own protection and safety. So super easy. Then again, at the end, I can go ahead and click end meeting. If I've recorded, I'm pretty sure that, actually, let's do that. I'm going to click record. I just want to know where it goes. Like once I go click record, I'm going to click stop recording. And it says the recorded file will be converted to MP4 when the meeting ends. Oh, it's going to actually throw it onto my computer. That's fantastic. If you guys have any other questions, I'm sure you will, because this video was convoluted and long. Let us know. Adios.